Since we have 15 minutes until recess, please put down your pencils and stare at the front of the room.
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Scholars, welcome back to another episode of Art 101 with me, Mr. Burgher. I'm a professional artist, master educator, and I'm here to provide you with the best in art and historical content. It's absolutely free for the taking, so take it and, interact with it. Thanks.
Hello out there in TV land.
Now, there are many art exhibitions that change the landscape of art history. One of those being the series of 8 exhibitions that was put on by the Impressionists. Today, we're going to talk about show number 2.
I know that.
So hold on to your hats and let's get talking some Impressionism.
From 1874 until 1886, there would have been 8 Impressionist exhibitions that took place in Paris. Each one was very unique from the other, and in the second showing, taking place from April 11th until May the 9th of 1876, after the first show, which was a complete flop, they had an 1875 auction, which was a bust. So of course that prompted Pierre-Auguste Renoir and Claude Monet to get energized about making a run at yet another art exhibition. They would line up this to be taking place in the gallery of Paul Durand-Ruel, who was a prominent art dealer who was known for really specializing with the Impressionists and was one of the very few that actually promoted their work not just in Europe but all around the world.
Prestige worldwide. Why?
Prestige worldwide. The first word in entertainment.
First word.
Now, of course, it would take more than just a couple people to make the whole thing work, and they would acquire a total of 20 individuals that wanted to be included in this exhibition. The artists in this show would include Edouard Ballard, Gustave Caillebotte, Adolphe Félix Callas, Edgar Degas, Marcellin Desboutin, Jacques Francois, Alphonse Legros, Ludovic Napoleon Lepic, Leopold Levert, Jean-Baptiste Millet, Claude Monet, Bertha Morisot, Auguste Auton, Leon Auguste Auton, Camille Pizarro, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, Henri Rouart, Alfred Sicily, Charles Telot. All of them are important, of course, but one of the big names that was unveiled during this exhibition was Gustave Caillebotte. As an artist, he would become something of an influencer, but somewhat selfishly, I suppose, as a financier of the project, his influence was critical. Eventually, he would become something of a leader in the group. Now, also prior to this, Degas was something of an unofficial manager of the exhibition. But once Gustave started to get involved, old Degas went down a peg and he didn't like it. So when somebody reads the 1876 Impressionist Exhibition catalog, you'll note that Caillebotte is nowhere to be found in the catalog.
Oh, wait.
Now, as noted in the first Impressionist show, critics would really not like this very much, and they still didn't, but there were some individuals, for example, Edmond Duranty, who was a Parisian writer and critic who was one of the few that began to praise the Impressionists. He would end up writing a 38-page pamphlet about their work and the artists and all that sort of thing because he was so impressed by this show. At any rate, the fact of the matter remains that most critics still couldn't stand the Impressionists.
Haven't thought it through.
No kidding, you didn't think it through.
trying to do something a little bit different with the exhibition, they thought about how it should be hung, meaning how the artists and artworks are organized within the show itself. Now, this was taking place at the gallery of Paul Durand-Ruel, as I mentioned, and they were using 3 different rooms in his gallery. What they would do is they would stage this as somebody would walk through the show. So up front, they would place the more simply created sorts of works, where the more difficult types of painting styles were placed more in the back. Edgar Degas, with the help of Bertha Morisot, would organize and hang the entire show of 252 paintings. Although technically not an Impressionist, Degas had 24 pieces of work in this exhibition. Morisot had 19, and Monet had 18. I think it's also somewhat interesting to note that Monet's work was hung in the front of the show. Now, I'm not sure if that's because his work may have been more eye-catching or recognizable, or if they just thought it was so simple that they put it up near the front. I'm not real sure. At any rate, most of the work that was in the exhibition was for sale, as they had done previously. However, they also wanted to include work that was just really good examples of the artist's work. So they would actually borrow works that had already sold from buyers so as to allow the public to see these works on display. Side note, although he died in 1870 during the Franco-Prussian War, Frederick Bazille, respected Impressionist artist who was great friends with Pierre-Auguste Renoir, had his work included in this exhibition as a memorial to the work that he had been producing.
But as the adage goes, out of great tragedy is the mother of invention.
Now, once the doors opened on April the 11th, it would be up for about a month. Now, during that month, the attendance was very much lower than what they had experienced in that first Impressionist exhibition 2 years prior in 1874. But in things like this, unfortunately, it's kind of about the money, not about the number of people that walk through. So, the artists had once again paid to get into the exhibition, and they had made enough profits from the gates and other sources of income that they were able to pay 3,000 franc space rental. Each member was refunded their 1,500 franc entry fee, and as a little bit of a bonus, each artist also received 3 francs from the dividend of the profits that they had earned. Now, it would seem that they started to get things figured out. There was some critical success, and there was some monetary success. And with Gustave Caillebout's generosity, they would be able to move forward with a third show that would open in 1877, the following year. But you'll have to wait till next time to hear how that went down.
What do I know? I color for a living, but I love telling you that story. I appreciate you for following along. We'll see you next time. You have yourself a good day.
Oh, wow.